Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, this is actually part 3 of my horror birth story. So if you haven't watched the first 2 videos, head on to my channel, and while you're there, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you never miss an episode, and give this video a thumbs up too. I would really appreciate that. You guys, I would really appreciate if you can just subscribe. Your girl's trying to get monetized. Hey, so help a sister get this coin. Okay, now let's get into the video. See you in a little bit. And this is where it all starts. So as soon as they get me in there, now they're moving me from the stretcher onto the bed, another stretcher with the operating table. But why am I running out of vocabulary? So now they move me from the stretcher onto the thingy, and immediately as they put me there, guys, I start to feel dizzy. And I'm like, they asked me to sit up, and I'm sitting up, and I feel dizzy, and I'm thinking maybe it's because I'm nervous. So then I tell the doctor, and I say to him, I'm feeling a little dizzy, is it okay if I lie down? And then he looks at me and he's like, why are you feeling dizzy? Then I immediately start to feel like I want to throw up, and then I tell him, like, I feel like I want to throw up, and then he says to me, okay, it's okay, you can lie down. So all of a sudden, you know, when I got into the room, there were three white doctors standing in the corner chatting. There was other black doctors also, you know, just around the room, also going about their business, getting ready for the day, whatever. And the nurse that had just brought me in. So all of a sudden the mood in the room changes, and I see the doctors in the corner. They get up on their feet. Now everybody is paying attention to me. Now I hear them, everybody going back and forth. Now they are pressing around my belly, and now you guys, the atmosphere, it went from being laid back to everybody showing concern. Now immediately I start to feel, and something is a little off. I start to worry. So now the doctor had explained to me that I was going to have an epidural birth. They were going to put, you know, epidural to numb my lower half of the body, and then I was going to get the C-section. So now he's talking to me, and then he tells me your blood pressure is dropping. That's why you feel dizzy, and that's why you feel like you want to vomit. So it's not going to be safe for us to do your C-section while you are conscious. So rather, we're going to put you under, and then we'll perform the surgery. And at this point, I'm really trying to relax and not to worry, but I am freaking out. I am worried, and I keep asking, is the baby okay? They say, yeah, no, it's fine. It's just that your blood pressure, you know, is you know, something is going on with your blood pressure. It keeps dropping. So they put me on adrenaline, and then they put the mask on my face, and then he explains to me that you're gonna have to take a couple of deep breaths, and then don't worry, he keeps talking to me. You guys, I forgot his name. I feel so bad that I forgot his name, but he tried so hard to calm me down, and I really appreciate that. He was talking to me throughout the entire process, and he was, you know, he was very calming, and him talking to me really helped, because it helped me get my mind off it. And then they put the mask on me, and that's the last thing I remember. Fast forward, I wake up, and when I wake up, I've got this thing down my throat, and I'm looking around, and the first thing I see is ICU. And I'm worried because he had told me that I had nothing to worry about, I'm gonna wake up soon enough, and I was thinking this was gonna be something that was gonna be just like very quick. So when I wake up, uh, it's I can see that it's no longer daytime, it's dark, and now I'm wondering what's going on. And then I look to my right and I see other people, some conscious, some unconscious, and most of them all have that incubator, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, is that, I think that's what you call it. And I have it down my throat, and the people to my left have it too. And right next to me was another patient in an isolation room. Those rooms where the patient is inside and they are all in glass and they use caution signs and everything. At this point, I am worrying. I'm wondering what is going on. So I look around hoping to see my baby, and I don't see my child. The nurses notice that I'm awake. Okay, now everybody comes, they're checking me and everything, but now I can't move my hands because I'm strapped to the bed. I can't move my hands, but I can move my legs. So the first thing that was okay, I could move my, you hear about all these kinds of horror bird stories, so I was glad about that. I could move my legs fine, I could move my arms, but I noticed that I was strapped to the bed, and I've got this thing down my throat that I could really feel all the way going down to my throat. I can't speak, I'm just moving my eyes around the room. Now the nurses and everybody, they're coming around me, they're checking, they're trying to talk to me. Do you know where you are? Blah 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 blah. At this point I'm just blinking, so I'm trying to talk to them. My mind instantly goes to the baby. I cannot see the baby in the room, so I want to ask somebody, how is my baby? So I'm trying to communicate to them. You guys, they're at this point, I don't know, I don't want to say that I was being ignored, but it felt like I was being ignored because nobody could understand what I was trying to say, and nobody wasn't quite like, everybody was just busy trying to make sure I was okay or whatever, and I couldn't talk to anybody. And I am there just, trying to give a sign to somebody, give me a pen. I wanna write down something. So then every time a nurse passed by, I'm trying to signal the nurse to come to me and whatever. And they were waiting for the doctor to come and check me to make sure that everything is fine. So finally, my nurse comes to me, and then she says to me, then I keep signaling her that, can I have a pen? Can I have a pen? I want to write something down. And then she says to me, no, I cannot unstrap you, because most patients, when we unstrap them, they try to take the incubator thingy out and they end up hurting themselves. So if you can promise me that if I unstrap you, you won't take it out. And then I promise, I nod, and then she gives me a pen and a paper, and then I write down, is my baby okay? And then she says to me, yeah, of course, your baby is fine. Tell that to a lady who's been unconscious for a couple of hours or days. At this point, I don't even know how long I've been unconscious for. And then she says, no, don't worry about it, your baby is fine. Again, I'm spiraling, you guys. I don't know, are they telling me that because they don't want me to worry, or is my baby really okay? But if he's okay, where is he? And why haven't they brought him for me to see him? And all these things, okay? And I am worried sick. And then not long after that, my husband comes, and when he sees me, he immediately just breaks down and he starts crying, and now I'm crying, and then we're hugging. At this point, I'm worried because I'm thinking, why is he crying? Is there something wrong with the baby? And then he says to me, no, don't worry, he's fine, he's perfect. So I had no idea, we didn't know what we were having. throughout the pregnancy, we wanted it to be a surprise, so we didn't know whether we were having a girl or a boy. I'm sorry, you guys. So yeah, at this point, he's crying and I'm crying, and then, you know, it was just, you know, just like an emotional moment. And then he sees me. Obviously, he could talk to me, but I couldn't talk back. And then he's telling me the baby's fine, he's perfect, and he's showing me pictures on the phone and all that stuff. And I was relieved. Guys. So apparently, I had been unconscious for 2 days. And so my blood pressure kept dropping while I was on the operating table, and I lost a lot of blood, and I almost didn't make it. Why that happened, I still have no idea. I'm just thankful that I'm alive. Oh god. So they kept telling me, my husband, that even if I do wake up, I might not wake up the same. And because I lost so much, I kept losing so much blood, that there is a possibility that I could have brain damage and stuff like that. You know, hearing stuff like that makes... So yeah, it just... So they were telling him that there was a possibility that I could have brain damage, I could wake up but I could not be the same, and that they could only tell if I woke up. And I could tell that it was hell, because even when my family came in, everyone was just crying. My brother was crying, my mom was crying, everyone was just crying. It was just hard, you know. It was just hard knowing that I could have possibly, you know, left my kids. So yeah. Then eventually, a day later, after I woke up, they finally took me off the thing, and I had to stay in the ICU recovering for a couple of more days. And after that, I went to a regular ward. They couldn't bring him in the room to see me, because they were like, it's not, you know, you never know, because I wasn't in a private room. I was sharing the room with 6 other people. So they didn't feel that it was, they didn't want to expose him to any other germs and stuff like that. So every day they would just take pictures and videos and come and show me, as opposed to, you know, bringing him into the room and exposing him to all these germs or whatever. So eventually I was taken back to the maternity ward, and I finally got to hold him for the first time a few days after he was born. And the recovery process, actually after that, as soon as I got out of the ICU, and the recovery process was actually quick. I was still weak, moving about, you know, standing on my own took a couple of more days for me to get to stand on my own, and you know, my hands and feet were swollen, my face was swollen, and yeah, that was pretty much it. So I didn't get to stay in the maternity ward long after that. It was just 2 more days in the maternity ward, and after that I was ready to go home. And I just had to go and get my blood pressure regularly checked after that, but I was healthy. Hey, you've made it to the end of part 3. Thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking with me. That's my baby. Head on back and find part 4. I'll meet you there. I love you.